What's good, everybody? It's Reed and welcome back to another tutorial. Today is going to be something a little different. Not totally different, still a tutorial, but I'm not much of a flourish guy, I'll be honest. I don't do a lot of cardistry, it's not totally my thing. I can do a few things and a lot of the basic flourishes like card spring, the waterfall, and that's what I'm going to be teaching today. You know, I know a lot of people like flourishes, like the way they look. Again, it's not my thing, but I felt like it'd be useful to teach a few of the basic ones that I know and that are fun to do, fun to really just show off. And so I just compiled 3 of my favorite sort of flourishes. I'm just quickly going to run through them. Probably won't be too long of a video, but we're going to go over the card spring, the card dribble, and then 2 different methods of doing the waterfall. So I'm really looking forward to teaching these couple of moves, couple of flourishes. For those of you who don't know, a flourish is just a way of displaying cards in a fancy manner, I guess you would say. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. All right, so let's start out with the card spring. One of the most beginner kind of card flourishes, the thing a lot of people learn, but it's really something that a lot of people like to see. A lot of laymen love to see card springs, and every time I do a card spring, they're like, oh my god, do that again, how do you do that? So it's pretty easy. I'll go over the way that I do it. So you want to grab the deck. If it's facing you, you want to grab it in the top right and bottom left corner between the thumb and middle finger. Okay, so you're basically going to be putting that corner right in the joint on the middle finger, and then somewhere in the middle of the top part of the thumb. And you want to make sure that 1/4 inch of the middle finger and thumb are hanging over the edge, okay? And all you're going to be doing is bowing the deck inwards and squeezing the thumb and middle finger inwards together, okay? And that's how you're going to get the deck to bow. That's going to give you all the pressure you need. Now, all you're doing is as you have that pressure, you start to basically open the fingertips like that, okay? So you're slowly going to build up a feel for this where you're going to be able to shoot off 1 card at a time. And that's how you're going to make your spring clean. At first, it's probably going to be like bunches and choppy and not so nice. But once you can, get the feel so you can shoot off basically 1, maybe 2 cards at a time, then that's how you're going to get it nice and smooth. So a big part of this is catching the cards. So how you want to catch the cards is kind of this grip. I use it for a couple different things, but it's sort of like a straddle grip, but basically it's like this. So you spread your hands open wide, your left hand here, bring your pinky in, and then these fingers just kind of let them relax. So what this is going to do is it creates kind of a wall, sort of like a net. So the pinky catches everything on the bottom, the thumb and the middle fingers catch everything on the side, and then you just tilt your hand up a bit so nothing's going to fall out this edge, and then you have a nice little basket, right? And it's quite a big basket, so the cards can hit all over and they'll all be kind of funneled to the middle. So obviously you want to start small, probably like doing it right in the hands like this, and then as you get better, you can get quite far with it. You can kind of come across like this and then do that sort of thing is nice to do. But yeah, it's really just a knacky thing. You just kind of practice it for a while, and then one day you'll get it, and then you'll never forget it, kind of like riding a bike. You can also kind of use the index finger if you want to kind of help apply pressure and spring off that finger, but I like to just kind of do it like that. The index finger is really just there as a kind of a guide, maybe helps get a little bit of the pressure in it. There are different ways of doing this. Some people spring off all 4 fingers. I'm obviously not very good at that, so that's not the way I do it. I think this way is kind of the most standard way, and it looks really nice, and it's a lot of fun to do. All right, let's jump into the dribble now. So the dribble is going to look like this. It's kind of off screen, so let me show you. So it's like that. It's basically a nice way of letting the cards fall. And then there's the kind of evolution of this is the anaconda dribble, where you can get that really, really high, like 2 or 3 feet, separate your hands apart, and it looks really nice, but that takes quite a bit more practice. So I'll just go over the basic dribble right now. So for the way I do the dribble, you're holding it in this kind of overhand grip. So 3 fingers along the front of the deck, pretty much covering the whole thing, with a thumb in the back left corner. all right? Some people curl their index on top, but I would recommend having it straight out along the side. The reason for that is you're kind of bringing the index towards the thumb as you dribble. So it's the same idea. You're holding it like this, and this time you're pulling up it with the thumb and pushing down a little bit with the index, and that's going to create your pressure. Now, if you just kind of let cards fall, it'll be really clumpy. So how you get it nice and smooth is you get, again, comfortable at doing this, opening the fingertips of the thumb and those 4 fingers or 3 fingers that are on the front. So you get comfortable opening them slowly, like basically opening them so it shoots off one card at a time. Like watch my fingertips very carefully right now. You can see how they slowly open up like that, like a flower blooming or something. At the same time, watch this index finger. It slides up towards the thumb, which is going to help a lot with getting the dribble to go bigger and helping the accuracy and the smoothness as well. So again, catch it in the exact same way. This is kind of the best way to catch, and that's just going to come with practice. Getting the cards to land where you want them to land, getting them to fall in order without flipping. One of the major problems with the dribble you'll get, let's see if I can do it, this. You'll have cards start to fall at the front and get stuck. So what's happening there is you're releasing the back thumb faster than these fingers, so the card falls off the back thumb and gets clipped between these fingers, and then they start to fall like this, and then they can flip, and then that's when chaos can happen. So if you're having that issue where the cards are sticking, look at making sure those fingers are releasing in a smooth, kind of consistent pacing. I'd really recommend working on this. A lot of people, it's weird to get at first, but once you get it, like, you know, it starts already pretty close to the back, but then it just makes its way all the way to the back, and that'll really help with getting your dribble to be higher. All right, so the waterfall. So the waterfall is gonna look like that. It's kind of can be called a cascade as well. To me though, a cascade is this, like this is what I would call a cascade. And that's probably my favorite flourish move to do. It just looks nice, especially when the cards are on the faces. But this I call the waterfall, at least. This is more of a reverse waterfall. So regular waterfall, the cards are kind of falling straight up and down, and then the reverse waterfall, they have that little curve to it. So I pretty much always do the reverse waterfall like this, and the way I do it is a little different than how I was taught. I just kind of realized that this way it just looks nicer, it's a little smoother. So the way that I do the reverse waterfall is basically the same grip as the dribble, same everything. You're basically dribbling the cards, but you're holding the deck sideways, and you don't want to spring them and shoot them forward. So if you do too much pressure, they're going to kind of go forward. You just want to almost let them drop. And if you can do the dribble, you'll have no issues with this. You know, just let the cards fall off the back thumb and also open at the front fingers and just let them fall, and they'll just fall nice and smooth into this hand. The grip is kind of how you'd hold the cards if you were overhand shuffling. It's basically 3 fingers along the back with the index curled up at the front and the thumb on the side, and they just fall nicely into that sort of position. You can kind of move the pinky to the back to sort of straddle them a little bit, and you'll get a nice sort of smooth waterfall. Again, all these moves, it just takes a little bit of practice to get them smooth, but they're really not that difficult. Just stick with them, do them when you're watching TV. They're really good moves to do in the background. There's a really nice control you can do with this as well. It's called the Victoria. I might teach it one day. A lot of people kind of mistake it for the Cascade control, but it's very nice. You just place a card into the middle, do the waterfall, and then it ends up on top. So the second method for the waterfall is when you put air into the cards. So you want to kind of grip them 4 fingers on the front, thumb on the back, and you bend. And what you're going to do is you're going to kind of let the cards slide forward and put a bunch of air in them. So how that works, you bend, and then you're kind of opening those fingers again, but you're not letting the cards fall out. So you're almost like springing them a little bit in your hands, but not letting them fall, if that makes sense. You're catching them. So close up, it's like this. So you see, it just puts a bunch of air in there, and that's what's going to let the cards fall nice and smooth. Okay, obviously all these things work better with a bit of a newer deck that's a little more slippery. Just keep that in mind. So again, this sort of grip, it's going to be basically on the first joints of all these fingers, pinky resting there, thumb resting on the back, close to the left edge. and then you just get that air in it. So again, I'll try, it's kind of hard to explain, but bow the deck and then release the fingers, and you'll see, you'll just get a chunk of air in there. And then you're just releasing, as with all of these, you're releasing the fingers slowly like that, and the cards will just fall nicely into a waterfall. To do the reverse waterfall with this method, same thing. You tilt the hand this way, and you let the cards kind of fall backwards. So basically they'll roll off these fingers and fall downwards into the hand. Catching with all of these is the exact same as the other waterfall method. You're just kind of straddling them in a sort of overhand shuffle type grip. All right, guys, that is it. A little bit of a quicker video, but a couple of fun little flourishes that look really cool to do. Some things you can just kind of show off with. Again, not really my thing. I'm more into sleight of hand, deception, and a lot more of that kind of stuff. But flourishing has its place. Flourishing's cool. I definitely like different types of cardistry, though I'm not very good. It's fun to do some of these weird sort of moves. I don't know, it's fun to do when you're not thinking. Practice those. You know, message me if you have any difficulties with them, or if you need help with anything. You know, I'm always willing to help out. It's what I love to do, love to teach. So yeah, next video is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be going over the Mexican turnover. So that's a card switch, a tabled card switch. That's a lot of fun. Another thing that I see done wrong a lot, so I'm going to be going over that. That's really a lot of fun to do, so I am looking forward to that switch because it's cool, and it's used in one very classic routine that I'm sure a lot of you guys know. If you do want to see more flourishes, let me know. I mean, I don't have a ton in the bank of my skills, but there's definitely quite a few more that I can do. Again, not my thing, but I'm very happy to teach them if that's what you guys want. So let me know, drop a comment. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.